This is Migrant Podcast with Robinson.
Welcome to the Immigrant Podcast with Robinson. Today I have the honor to talk to Mr. Ihmayed Ali. Welcome to the show, Mr. Ali.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. You know what? I think I would like to know, and those that are going to be listening to the podcast as well, a little bit about yourself.
Yes, actually, as you mentioned, my name is Ihmayed Ali. I am a Palestinian refugee from Lebanon. I'm a father of three and grandfather of four children, and I'm currently working in the field of biomedical engineering at MUHC Montreal General Hospital. My family in the year 1948 were expelled from Palestine to a Weevil camp located in Lebanon, in the Bekaa Valley, where I was born 7 years later. During that period, when I was born in that camp, I remember that we lived under a very poor condition in one room with no electricity, no water, no kitchen, no bathroom, no sewage system, almost nothing. At that time, we had no hope except UNRWA, which is United Nations and Relief Works Agency for Palestine Refugees. UNRWA was the only source of relief, providing social services, education, and health program to support Palestine refugees in that camp and in all camps in the area. UNRWA provided me with the opportunity to gain an education and to enable me to earn multiple degrees. Without UNRWA, I would not be able to earn those degrees. Not me, none of my kids. So in the year 1973, after I finished the preparatory level, I went to vocational education center for UNRWA as well, and I studied 2 years electronics. After that, I had the opportunity to continue my education at the Damascus University in Syria.
Okay.
UNRWA during that period provided me also with the opportunity to work after graduation as a senior instructor in one of their vocational education centers, and then I was promoted to a specialist, educational specialist in the headquarters Amman. And after that, we decided to come to Canada because, in Canada, it's the Palestinians everywhere. I mean, the Palestinian refugees everywhere, they had no documents, no travel documents. I mean, no passports.
Even today?
Even today, they don't have passports. Now, today, we have about 6 million Palestinian refugees living in camps in the areas like Lebanon, Syria, West Bank, Gaza, and Jordan. None of them has passport except those in Jordan. So I decided in the year 2005 to immigrate to Canada to give my kids better future and passport. And when we came here, my children, they have the chance to join the university, and they all graduated from Concordia University, and they got the passport and a better life. So this is this is almost about myself.
Well, it's a very interesting story, and we could probably talk about it for hours, days,
Yeah,
but you summarized it very well.
yeah, that's
So
true.
you talked about your background a little bit. You also covered a little bit of the Palestine refugees and the UNRWA. But I know you have a book, and I think the book is already ready to be published in your language, but you want to translate it into English. What is the book about?
Yeah, the book is about my refugee journey, my family actually, refugee journey. As I mentioned before, my parents in the year 1948, they were expelled from Palestine, from North Palestine to Lebanon. Not only my parents, actually, there was about 800,000 Palestinians who were expelled during that period. They lived in a very miserable situation in all locations and all camps in the area. I still remember all those miserable days in that camp. And my colleagues, I mean, the refugee colleagues, miserable situation in that period. So my book is talking about this trip from Palestine. Actually, my mother, at the beginning of the book, my mother, she talked about the trip from Palestine to Lebanon, walking between mountains, valleys, etc., during night and day until they reach the camp, and how did they suffer during the camp for some years. Then in the book, I share my mother about my own experience in the camp, and after we moved from that camp to another camp in Syria in the year 1973. We went to Syria and we lived in a camp, Yarmouk camp. Me and my sisters, my brothers, my family, we lived there for a while. Then the war started in Syria. So I'm talking about the war in Syria in my book as well. So my family, they had to escape from that area to North Europe through the Mediterranean Sea using boats, like fishermen boats. And I'm talking in my book about this miserable 5 or 6 days in the Mediterranean with nothing, no food, no light, no hope, nothing. I have witnesses, so many witnesses in the book speaking about their own experience in that area. So my book, yeah,
the
the book
book
is in
really
Arabic.
covers not only your experience, but the experience of all those who went through it, and even
Yes,
today are still going through it, because it would
yes,
be a little bit similar, even if the times are different.
exactly. It started 73 years back and still till this moment.
Wow, that's
So
amazing. And the
yeah,
book is in Arabic, and I know you have the idea to translate it into English.
yes,
And
yes,
why do you think it is important to have it translated into English?
yeah, because the English speakers or the people who are living in North America and Europe, they don't know much about our Palestinian problem or catastrophe. We call it catastrophe. And I need to let people know how Palestinians are suffering, because the problem is still exists. They didn't finish. Now, as I told you, we have 6 million Palestinian refugees living in poor camps. The same situation that I was lived like 70 years ago, let us say, or 55 years ago. They still living up till this moment in that spot of the world. They are spread in five countries: Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, West Bank, and Gaza. And they are still at the same places where I was born, like 65 or 66 years ago. They're still living in that situation. That doesn't make any sense. It's shame in humanity that those people were forgotten. Nobody
I,
remembering them.
I totally
Yeah.
agree with you, Mr. Ali. How many pages does it have?
My book is 240 pages.
Okay. Have you started the translation process, or are you still...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And you need some help translating it. What type of help do you need?
Yeah, we are collecting money actually. I collected some money because we find a specialized person in translation,
Okay.
and we made a deal with him to start translating. And we are in the process of collecting money. I collected some more, and I hope that people could help me if possible. If not, we will continue. No stop.
Very good. Very good. And where could people reach you at?
Yeah, there is in my Facebook. I I have to share my Facebook actually to public under my name, Ihmayed Ali, the same name. If you go to Facebook, you'll find my name and you will find the page that you can donate.
Very good. What I'm going to make sure is to put it in the description of the podcast once it is released, so that people can go to your Facebook and donate, help out, or reach out to you to see how they can help. Something that we try to do in every podcast is to actually invite our participants, our invitees, to say a few words in their own language. And I would like to invite the Arabic community out there to also help out, but
Yes.
please reach out to them in Arabic.
Yes. السلام عليكم. أنا أحميد علي. بتمنى من الإخوة العرب والفلسطينيين تحديدا يساعدوني في ترجمة كتابي صور من ذاكرة لاجئ فلسطيني. راح أحطه على الفيسبوك تحت اسم أحميد علي، وضروري إنه الأجانب يعرفوا قضيتنا ويتعرفوا على مشكلتنا. شكرا لكم. Thank you so much.
Very
You
good. Thank you
understand?
very much. I'm going to be one of the first ones to read your book once it's translated. I don't think
Thank
I'm
you.
going to do a good job in Arabic, but as soon as
Yes.
it's in English, I'm going to be one of the first ones to read your book. I think the story is very interesting. I agree with you that, 70, 60 years after it started, people are still going through the same issues. It makes no sense.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think humanity, governments, they need to refocus their approach and help
Exactly.
out to find a solution for this issue.
Sure, 100%. Thank you so much for your feeling. I appreciate it, actually. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. I appreciate it. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Until next time.
This was Immigrant Podcast with Robinson.